A few people in my DMs keep asking me the same question. What's the best AI tool I can use right now? Right? They see all these updates and all these things going on and all this confusion, and everybody's on YouTube just telling you what to do, how to use it. And when people come around asking me because they trust me and they see how I'm doing things, my answer usually to that question is it depends on your workflow. But that's the wrong question because the problem isn't that most business owners don't have access to AI. The problem is that they're opening 5 different tools, testing random prompts, watching a bunch of YouTube videos, and still ending the week with more confusion and not leverage. That's the real issue. Not lack of tools, lack of workflow, lack of role clarity, lack of system. And I started realizing that even smart entrepreneurs were doing this backwards. They were treating AI like a collection of shiny objects instead of assigning each tool a job inside the business. That's when it clicked for me. The better question is not what's the best AI? The better question is what does each AI tool need to own inside your workflow so your business actually gets faster, sharper, and more predictable? For me, the stack that I use right now is simple: ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude. 3 tools, 3 jobs, 3 layers of thinking. And once I separated them that way, everything got cleaner. Research got cleaner, strategy got cleaner, documentation got cleaner, execution got cleaner. So if you're using ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude right now, you probably think you're just using 3 AI tools. You're not. You already got the bones of a real AI operating system. And if you're a business owner, this matters a lot more than people realize because right now, the businesses that learn how to use AI for truth, strategy, and structure are going to move faster, make better decisions, and build systems that don't depend on memory, guesswork, or chaos. Everybody keeps asking, what AI tool should I buy next? Wrong question again. The better question is, how do I use the tools I already have to think better, move faster, and build a business that doesn't leak money every month? That's what I want to show you because most people are still using AI like a toy, a clever search engine, a writing assistant, a shortcut for random tasks, you know, just being lazy with it. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in how AI becomes a business weapon, how it helps you see the truth of your market, design the right revenue moves, and then lock those moves into a system that actually runs. That's the stack. 3 layers: Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Claude. And each one has a job. First, Perplexity. Perplexity is not there to entertain you, it's not there to give you cute answer. It's there to tell you what actually is true. What are people charging in your market? What are the margins? What is the cost per lead? What is the industry benchmark? What are the competitors doing? How fast is your category changing? What are buyers already expecting before they even talk to you? That matters because most business owners are making decisions on assumptions. They think their pricing is fine. They think their offer is clear. They think their market behaves one way. Then they wonder why the numbers feel off. Perplexity is where I go when I want to strip emotion out and see reality. Before I build an offer, before I design a campaign, before I say this business should go left instead of right, I want to know what's actually happening in that market. That's the first layer, truth. Because if your business is built on assumptions or hallucinated outputs, worse yet, then everything you build after that is crooked. Instead of going a straight line, even if it deviates a little bit, you end up somewhere where you don't want to be. So Perplexity is my go-to for accurate, non-hallucinated outputs with citations, with what's real. And my second tool is ChatGPT. This is where strategy happens, not random copying, not just write me a caption. I'm talking about actual revenue strategy. This is where I use AI to think, offer positioning, sales angles, messaging, value ladders, how to frame the problem, how to frame the solution, how to explain what a business does in a way that makes people move. This is where I pressure test ideas. If Perplexity tells me what's true in the market, ChatGPT helps me answer, okay, knowing that, what's the smartest revenue move? How do we package this? How do we sell it? How do we lead with it? How do we simplify? How do we cut? What actually makes this offer easier to understand and easier to buy? That's where a lot of businesses get stuck. They got a good service, they got talent, they got experience, but they cannot articulate value clearly. The message is muddy. Their offer is bloated. They funnel leaks attention. Their sales process feels like they're explaining too much and converting too little. That's where ChatGPT becomes powerful. I come from the school of Dan Kennedy. So product market fit is extremely important in this area. If you know, you know. So ChatGPT helps you turn scattered ideas into clear revenue language. Perplexity first, ChatGPT second, and third is Claude. Claude is your operational structure layer. This is where AI starts being interesting and it starts becoming useful to the business. Most people do the research, they get excited, maybe come up with a good idea, and then everything stays trapped in notes, screenshots, and memory. That's why so many businesses stay dependent on people just knowing what to do instead of having a real operating system. Claude help you fix that. Claude is the layer I use to turn strategy into something a business can actually run on. If Perplexity tell me what's true and ChatGPT helps me decide the revenue move, Claude helps me build the playbook around that move. This is where I create diagnostic reports, blueprint documents, SOP implementation, checklists, workflow maps, CRM logic, and decision trees. But more importantly, this is where I turn a problem into a structure. Let's say we discover a med spa is losing money between booking and show up. Claude helps me map the exact process that should exist after the lead comes in. What happens when somebody books? What reminder sequence should I fire? What happens if they don't show? What gets sent by text, by email, or by a human? What should be documented so the team follows the same process every time? That's the difference. Claude doesn't just make documents look polished, it helps turn messy thinking into something a business can actually execute. This is also where AI starts becoming operational leverage. Because the process is clear, Claude can help define the logic for dashboards, sub AI agent workflows, and automation layers. It can help structure the sequence for a reactivation campaign, map the logic for a lead follow-up agent, define what a client onboarding workflow should do, or help build a framework for how a team and AI should work together. So for me, Claude is not just a documentation engine, Claude is a system builder. Later, we can actually talk about how Claude actually builds the tech. For example, if you want to build an app or software or some type of asset in your business so you can leverage that for growth and scale, we could talk about that. For right now, we're going to keep it simple. This is how I'm using Claude. So Claude helps me take what we discover, organize the fix, structure the process, and turn that into an asset that business can actually use, delegate, automate, or scale. That's when AI starts being a chatbot and it starts becoming infrastructure. So if you step back, what do these three tools actually do? Perplexity tells me what's true. ChatGPT helps me decide what the revenue move is. And Claude helps me lock that move into a system. Truth, strategy, structure. That's the stack. And if you're a business owner, here's why you should care. Because if you don't build this kind of thinking into your business, you're going to get crushed by slowness. Not because AI is magic, but because businesses that use AI correctly are going to research faster, decide faster, write faster, document faster, implement faster, and adapt faster. And speed matters now more than ever before. The old way was, let's freestyle it, let's think about it, let's get back to it, let's do it manually. Let's hope the team remembers. Let's patch the problem later. The old model is a sentence. because the businesses that survive this extra era are not going to be the ones with the most tools. They're going to be the ones with the clearest system. That's why I use this stack the way I do. Not to play with AI, but to feed what AI will need in the future as it morphs into whatever monster it becomes. Align your business for adaptation. Use AI in your favor to build revenue system, to design better ones, to identify leaks, to structure solution, to turn knowledge into implementation. And if you're watching this thinking, I know I need this, but I'm not the person who want to sit around learning prompts and testing tools all day. That's exactly my point. That's why you should do this. You don't need to become an AI nerd. You need to understand what these tools can do for your business and then either use them with intention or work with someone who can turn them into a practical system for you. Because this is not about replacing people. This is about replacing slowness, replacing confusion, replacing messy, manual, disconnected operations. So if you want help thinking through how AI can actually fit your business, your offer, your funnels, your follow-up, your content, or your revenue systems, DM me the words money map and we'll start a real conversation about how AI can be used to make your business sharper, faster, and harder to compete against before old systems turn into dead weight.